私のグループはミャンマーについて発表しようと思っています。My name is Matthew Korn. I am a member of Group Myanmar. I'm joined up here by Mizaki Yama and Hiro Fukubo, and we will be presenting our business plan for introduction of Ajinomoto products to Myanmar. So, if you're talking about Myanmar, first you have to analyze a couple of very key contributing factors, foremost of which is the political situation. Up until very recently, Myanmar was controlled by a military junta. That is, it was under a strict military dictatorship, and there wasn't much interaction with the outside world. As of last year, that relaxed slightly, but up until this point, there hasn't been much foreign direct investment coming into Myanmar. And that has hindered the economic situation. Myanmar is a very resource-rich country. They're known for having lots of trees for logging. Up until about World War II, they were the world's foremost producer of rice, but likewise, that too has declined as a result of the military dictatorship. Societally and technologically, the country is kind of stunted. It has been sort of prevented from catching up with the rest of the world, especially in terms of communication. So not many people in Myanmar have mobile phones, for example. The infrastructure, the electricity and road situation is very bad. And legally, because of the relaxation of the junta, opposition leaders have been allowed to speak out, and there's more relaxation of the legal process, but as of now, it's still quite hazy. So Mizuki now will be talking about HDI and the malnutrition situation in Myanmar.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, I'm Mizuki. I want to talk about the situation, like all market situation in Myanmar. First, I'd like you to grab the situation in Myanmar with this index, HDI. Do you know that? This is Human Development Index. The Human Development Index was created by the three factors. The three factors, which is the income statement and educational situation and also life expectancies. Okay, now in HDI, Myanmar is ranked in 149th, which is quite bad. Okay, when you see this graph, the Myanmar is this green line, this one, and the yellow is world average. So Myanmar is apparently quite bad situation, and also when we talk about compare with the other Asian, East Asian and Pacific countries, you can also see that Myanmar is quite bad in bad situation. Okay, and here Myanmar is on here, but you cannot see the color of Myanmar, which shows the Myanmar and also Bangladesh. Yeah, economically, educationally, and also like a mortality rate is quite bad. Okay, then how is the malnutrition situation of Myanmar? From World Bank 2010, the only 35% of under 5 years old children stand. They not enough height. I mean, they don't have enough height. Okay, and also about weight, 23% of children is wasted. Then, why this situation is happened right now? The possible reason, since Ajinomoto is dealing with the company which is dealing with the food, so we just focus on the food culture as a reason of this problem. This picture shows how traditional dishes in Myanmar are. So you can see there are a lot of traditional dishes, and it's so various. But most of people in poverty rate cannot eat so well. And so I want to explain about the traditional food in Myanmar briefly. Staple food is rice. And common dishes is not like this. Most of people are eating curry and rice with vegetables 3 times in a day. It's crazy, but they eat. They really like curry. Okay, but with vegetable, you got to focus on here. Why is vegetable? Because the meat is out of the range of price for people, so they cannot eat meat so often. And Myanmar's traditional dishes are influenced by surrounding countries like China, India, Bangladesh, and all countries. So, which means Myanmar's traditional food are not only one, but just so different in each region. Then, from this situation, we found one problem. Like with curry with vegetables, we found a problem like they are lacking of protein from daily food. And also, as you saw before, like in this economic situation, they don't afford buy the added product like plus supplemental product. So we think we got focus on key for this rice. So rice will be the one key of solution of this program.
So I'm going to be talking about our product and our mission statement a little bit. Our key idea is enrichment through education. So through the dispensation of our product and the conveyance of information about the importance of proper nutrition, we're hoping to sort of reach out to the family. The family unit is the most important part of Myanmar society. So by reaching out to the families, by reaching out to the farmers, we're hoping to mitigate and ultimately help to eliminate at least part of the malnutrition problem in Myanmar. So our product and services strategy is sort of twofold. First is tamino powder. Tamino is a portmanteau. It's a combination of the word tami, which is Burmese for rice, and amino, which is an acid that Ajinomoto is well known for incorporating in their products. This powder will be incorporated into the rice during the cooking process, and it will imbue the rice with both key amino acids, which are important for immunity, healthy bone growth, that kind of thing. And it will also incorporate important protein, which the children are missing out on because of their meat-free diets. The second product is tamino fertilizer. This will be similar to products that Ajinomoto is already making. If farmers dispense this in their fields once or twice during the growing season, not only will the yield increase, not only will the kernel weight increase, but it'll also decrease the acreage needed to grow a certain amount of rice. Myanmar has had very bad crop yield problems. They haven't been making enough for how much land they have. So this is a way to sort of ameliorate that. This is our product strategy. As you can see on the left, this diagram was taken from the Ajinomoto website, and it sort of demonstrates the decrease in necessary acreage for growing a certain amount of rice. Our distribution method will be slightly unconventional, but bear with me. So the first year will be a testing period. For the distribution of the powder will be largely for free through our partners, which Hiroki will be talking about. And we will enter a contract relationship with certain independent rice growers. These rice growers will use the Ajinomoto fertilizer, and in return, Ajinomoto will receive a 10 to 15% portion of the profits that come back once they have sold the rice at market. So it's mutually beneficial. Ajinomoto gets to test the product, make sure that it's suitable for the Myanmar market, and at the same time, the Burmese get a pretty much risk-free way to increase their crops. Our timeline expectations will be explicated further on the next slide. So in the first year, we'll be providing the tamino powder largely for free through our partners. At the same time, we will be establishing market presences in the central, the key areas in Myanmar. As the brand recognition increases, then we'll be able to spread out along a predetermined path that Hiroki will be talking about shortly. And we plan to break even by the end of the third year.
Okay, let me talk about the partners and roles. The first one is British Asia Japan. We use this organization for the education, because what they do is educate women, educate local farmers, and educate children. So what we get from this organization is the know-how of the education. For distribution, we use Medicine Sans Frontières. This is also known as Doctors Without Borders. So what they do is they have to provide their medical treatment in the poor area, even war zone. So they must have the skill to deliver the product in the poor area. So by using this organization, we'll be able to access the region that we normally would not be able to access. Now we move on to the distribution. It's the poverty rate in Myanmar. As you can see, there is quite high rate. And where these cities are located, it's here and here. This map shows the population density, and it seems like most densely populated areas tend to be the most malnourished, as you can see. Next, how we distribute. We were thinking about to place headquarters near Yangon, because this Yangon has a special economic zone. Japanese say keisai toku. So it's easy to get in there and to launch the business. And also, Yangon has this ocean port and airport, so it's easy to import the product from Japan. And also, this red line, this one, means the main highway that's going through in the Myanmar. So by using this main highway, we could reach to the area that has high malnutrition rate. Summary of distribution. We utilize DAJ and MSF. For the education, we use DAJ. As I said, they have the knowledge and experience about education. And for the distribution, we use MSF, Doctors Without Borders. And also, we are considering to sell our product in the local market. Every local has a market. Everyone come and buy the daily stuffs in there. So we're also thinking about to sell our product in the market, in the local market as well. And also importation versus factory construction. That means, as in our plan, in the first year, we did import. We do import a powder from Japan, since Ajinomoto has the techniques and the facility to make the powder, amino acid powder. In the first year, so we use import from Japan to Yangon port. And while distributing our product, we start building the factory in near Yangon, so that our business plan become more sustainable. And then we place our headquarters in Tanbin. I can't say that. This is the name of, it's near Yangon, it's located near Yangon. And this is in the special economic zone. And also the special economic zone will be, a new special economic zone will be placed in next January. That means that called the Tirawa Special Economic Zone. What is good about Tirawa Economic Zone is it's focused on Japanese company. That means about 50% of the area will be owned by Japanese company. So like there are many famous companies like Marubeni or Mitsubishi Shoji has got involved in this area. So why not be here? Conclusion. Our product is terminal powder and fertilizer for rice. We make the rice more nutritious by using fertilizer and also powder. So target would be people who will eat rice. Where is that? All people in Myanmar. So our target is quite big. And also, as a supporting factor, we do the education about hygiene or how nutritious our product is, and also the current political situation about Myanmar. So our business plan will approach to the rice. It's really basic stuff. Everyone loves it. So our target is really big, as I said. So our business model will potentially have big impact to solve malnutrition problem in Myanmar. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Team Myanmar. I think they did a very wonderful job on thinking of fortifying the essential amino acids to the rice, the staple rice that it's eating, and they have made it into a very multi-sectorial approach. So is there any questions that you'd like Dr. Torita?
So one comment and one question. The first point is about the concept of combining agriculture promotion and nutrition improvement. This is very interesting because actually this concept is now very widely discussed among this society who are thinking about nutrition improvement, because promoting agriculture is a very important factor, because people who need nutrition improvement are usually the small-scale farmers. So how to improve it? This is a very good point, I think. And one question is about tamino rice. This is a mixture of rice powder and amino acids, right?
Yes.
How is it used for cooking?
During the cooking process, it will be added to the water as a supplement.
Mm-hmm.
And through it'll act basically as a general nutritional supplement powder. It'll fortify the rice and make it a more heavy and substantial meal.
So it will be mixed with just ordinary rice?
Yes. Yes.
Can I ask a few questions here? In general, in vegetarian countries, the many staple foods don't have high protein, but they tend to supplement with beans, for instance.
Yes.
And so I would have thought, growing beans and so on and to supplement would also be one way to help the nutrition. And after that, perhaps on top of that, maybe you can have some lacking amino acids. And I think and also I think if you're just adding it to boiled rice, I think there's an issue of taste and so on. It might be better to put it in the curry powder type, make it into a product such as a curry powder or other things. And also, you didn't really mention anything about vitamins and so on. So, is there need for fortification? Usually, there's need for fortification, vitamin A and iron and things like that.
Yes. So we discussed that. We have yet to identify the really key nutrients that they're missing because they're missing so much. So it's really a matter of, because there's so little information coming out of the country, it's difficult to ascertain just what the country needs. So we picked what the most blaringly obvious things would be. And then during the product development cycle, I think we would move to address the other issues as well.
You mentioned that your target is all people in Myanmar. And did you have some chance to discuss about another possibility to limit some kind of talent, some generation?
Yes.
That means what kind of value will be important for Myanmar people? What kind of discussion, if there are, I'm very interested in.
Yeah. So the ultimate target is all people in Myanmar. By encouraging rice production and making rice more readily available to the rest of the population, the ultimate objective would be decreasing the total level of malnutrition. The marketing of the powder to mothers, I think, would be really instrumental in making sure that the children are the first ones getting it. Utilization of MSF and BAJ as partners, I think, would be especially helpful because they're the ones who are treating the children that are malnourished. And they're the ones who are holding sort of educational symposia in these rural areas. And because fathers are the ones out in the fields, we think that by giving the information directly to the mothers will be key to making sure that the children are the first in line to receive the powder. That being said, if we do incorporate it, the reason why we didn't incorporate it immediately into a curry powder is because young children don't eat a lot of curry. We thought children are only breastfed for about 6 months. After that, they're introduced to regular foods. But they still don't have the palate quite for curry powder. So we figured something simple that could be added directly to the rice would be the best way to sort of convey the nutrients from a very young age.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? One question from my side is that Myanmar here is still unstable.
Yes.
How is the government going to take a foreign company to come in to the country to just burst into the country and say, I'm gonna improve your people? Is the government very welcome, or are they still rigid on not getting the foreign companies inside?
Well, that's the reason for the creation of the economic zones that Hiroki was talking about. they're aimed directly at stimulating and encouraging foreign direct investment. So companies that come into the Thilua economic zone from Japan, it's free to set up, and they're encouraged to come in droves if possible. If you are going to distribute a product and earn a profit within the country, you have to pay taxes, but that's pretty much it. They're encouraging as much foreign direct investment as possible. So we think the government of Myanmar will be largely receptive to any proposal that we might put to them.
So, one question.
Yes.
So in the initial stage, you distribute the products through, for example, MSF, free of charge.
Yes.
Then the next step, we want to make it business.
Yeah. So the idea is MSF and BAJ have offices throughout Myanmar, and they are much better at accessing the markets because they're familiar with them. So they will handle the distribution in the areas that are extremely impoverished but not necessarily accessible directly from Myanmar. At the same time, people from our group would push north on the main highways and set up shop at various markets throughout the heavily impoverished areas and continue north as time went by.
I feel the same question. So I feel so this activity I feel like CSR. So I think it's so difficult to establish a sustainable business like this activity. So do you have a plan or to establish a business model like retail product?
When you grow or something. Okay, Tamil powder is mainly for the advertisement and education, so we don't expect so much profit from them. But the fertilizer will be our main product to get the profit from Myanmar's market. And more than 80% of people in Myanmar are dealing with farming, agriculture. And they're having some kind of demand for fertilizer, but they don't afford because in Myanmar there are only 15 companies who are dealing with the fertilizer right now, and they are mainly for like chemical one, organic one, not for nutritious. So if we go to the market like nutritious rice with increasing the amount of crops in the rice, like the harvest here, we saw the kind of demand and they have space where we get in. So answering your question directly, like, okay, if you focus on the Tamil powder, it seems like CSR, and it seems like quite difficult to get a profit. But if we could sell the fertilizer quite well, and we could get the market share in fertilizers market, which is under development right now, we think it's possible to make it